Welcome back to the Mountain Outpost. I am Zach Marion here at the Javelina 100 with my co-host, Leah Yingling.
Hi, everyone.
We are here with the ever-speedy Zach Bitter and the ever-endurable Jeff Garmire. Welcome to Javelina 100, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you guys here. Zach, you are no stranger to this race. You have been here supporting your wife, Nicole. You've been here yourself. What brings you back this year? What are you hunting for anything? Are you just out here to have a good stroll?
Perhaps, yeah. I hear there's gold in Phoenix this year, or last few years, actually. So, yeah, I mean, I'm here for race for a golden ticket would be the number one priority. I've raced it in 16 and 17, so it's been a bit. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but it has been. It's been nice to be able to crew and pace Nicole, though, over the years, to stay familiar with everything, watch the event grow, watch it get more competitive with the golden ticket stuff there. So we've got a deep field this year. It'll be fun to mix it up and see if I can come away with one of the tickets.
Fantastic. And Jeff, you are no stranger to long-distance races yourself and FKTs. What brings you here to Javelina?
Well, this is going to be a little short for me, just in 100 miles. So I really wanted to mix it up and do something flat and fast and just see what I could do. I tested out a running belt for the first time a couple days ago. So I just love chasing new experiences from in the last year, just doing like fixed time and shorter races and stuff too. This was the natural progression in getting shorter and faster. So 100 miles and, you know, what's the course record? Sub 13 hours, here we come.
Oh,
Yeah, not a lot of people use that natural progression going to a shorter distance race in 100 miles. But here we are. For those of our viewers at home who don't know, explain your background in the FKTs and kind of what you're most known for, what excites you in that.
Yeah, I come from thru hiking, and I sort of progressed into doing an 8,000 mile thru hike in 8 months, and then a 7,000 mile one, and then the Barkley Marathons were my second ultra marathon, and then naturally progressed from there into Cocodona 250, and then have slowly been working my way down into the more, I guess, I think they're harder, but the shorter distances. So yeah, it's been 3 years, 2.5 years of turning myself into an ultra runner, and so here we go. We'll see what happens out here.
I think this is pretty fun to have both of you guys on the couch at the same time, because I feel like that's not exactly the type of runner that Zach is necessarily, those long through hiking days. I think about you as like this 100-mile specialist. You do a lot of the fast stuff. I think you've got a world record, American record perhaps to your name in like 11-something 100-miler. I think you're the fastest 100-mile guy on the start line out there tomorrow, which is going to be really exciting to see. So I love this
over 16 hours, Zach's not interested. Not interested at all.
Yeah, we're two different ends of the spectrum, I think, which will be fun. And that's what I like about the 100-mile distance. I think it sort of does draw a little bit of contrast between the real short ultras. And I mean, I guess you could probably say, I actually had a thru hiker, FKT guys on my podcast in the past, and they call it like mega ultras, I think, now. So that side of things, where it's like it's not a day or 2 days, it's weeks in some cases, which is kind of cool to see. But yeah, I think, you know, for a course like this, it's definitely a running course. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the heat is usually the biggest variable out here that will either slow you down or speed you up, depending on where that falls. In 16, it was, I think, course record temps. I believe it's like 102 that day, so it looks like we're going to get much cooler temperatures than that this year. In 2017, it was in the low 90s, I believe. So I'm sort of using that as perspective in terms of kind of what the weather's going to be like tomorrow versus the other years. And then the course profile kind of is easy enough to understand as far as I can tell.
Yeah, and Zach, it seems like you've had years of experience here. You've also been able to crew Nicole. You guys have extremely efficient aid stations transitions, but it also sounds like you've been through the ringer a little bit the last year and changed up your training just a little bit. Can you talk about your journey this last year?
Yeah, you know, it's actually almost been a couple of years, to be honest with you, in terms of just kind of navigating some injuries that sort of popped up, reoccurred, or led to other ones. So it's just been, it's not that I haven't been out there doing races and training, which is for better or worse, I should say, just because it was kind of stuff that was manageable but not necessarily ideal in a lot of cases. But I had an injury that wasn't manageable. This, like, I think it was been beginning of May, end of April. I had a stress fracture on my right sacral ala, which seemed to like plague a few ultra runners this year. But the nature of that one didn't sideline me for too long, but enough to kind of just go through a whole bunch of different assessments just to kind of iron out what was the cause of that. And it turned out for me it was most likely a mechanical issue. So I've been addressing that basically since then in terms of trying to just get my body to work with me a little more fluidly. And it's made a big difference in training. I've had a really good build-up leading in. My peak 3 weeks were 130, 140, 150 miles right into taper. So I've gotten a lot of kind of race-specific miles under my belt in this last peak, and all on top of a good speed work development phase. So it felt good to kind of get that training aspect in place and feel ready and fresh and fit. So
Zach, it sounds like you're bringing your speed is your weapon for this course, and you're obviously have been here, so you're experienced. Now, Jeff, this is a new experience for you, but something tells me that if you've got the moxie to go through what you've gone through in 8 months, and I'm looking at your eyes right now, and those eyes tell me you have seen some shit. You have been through the depths. Is that a weapon you're bringing here to the course tomorrow, towing that line to be able to get into those dark spots and feel comfortable out there?
I think I'm bringing a lot to this race, including my speed and the fuel of all the doubters out there, and just not getting picked too much by many people. And no one's seen me run this course, so I'm truly a dark horse. And the real thing I'm bringing is an epic costume. So I'm going to be fueled by fun, speed, and a whole lot of miles of volume hiking.
Wait, what is your costume?
I mean, TBD, but it starts with some modifications to some shorts and just to make it at least R-rated to be able to run on the course with it. So I'm hoping to mix it up with the guys in the front dressed perfectly for this race.
Speaking of dressing for this race, what kind of shoes you wearing out there? What kind of kit?
What's your
who's
kit
on your
gonna be?
crew? Give us some deets.
My girlfriend Allison is my crew and pacer at some point. If go that route, it's just going to be quick changes. I'm just throwing on a pair of road topos to run it. Got some modified John G shorts that are going to keep the junk hidden a little bit, and then I'm going to be
I like that.
just a little, and then got a pretty good costume that it's a lot of airflow will be flowing through it.
So that's how you're handling the heat. That's your heat
Breathability.
mitigation.
Oh yeah, that and just just airflow everywhere, and then a lot of just topical cooling, I think, is something I heard Zach say once. So I'm gonna Google that later and figure out how to do that.
that'd be a good one. I'd recommend that.
I absolutely love it. Zach, you have been here yourself. You've crewed Nicole, your wife, through some amazing performances here as well. She's here with you. She's here in the background.
Hi, Nicole.
Tell us and the viewers at home what it means to have that partnership in your life, that type of support, and to have her here on the race.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is. I mean, just being here with Nicole in the past has allowed me to almost feel like I was doing the race to some degree because you're so invested in their success. And then obviously being able to pace for a couple loops, you're really in the middle of it with them, and you're seeing all the emotions and the hard work that goes into it and things like that. So I know how it feels to be on that side of it. I know it's mutual with Nicole, so having someone that you know is basically out there racing it with you in mind is a powerful piece to the puzzle, I think, having that support. So, and it's not necessarily an ideal crewing course in the sense that you really can only crew at start finish, but it'll be good to be able to check in with her at the end of every loop and make sure that I'm kind of staying to the plan and taking the stuff with me that I need to and leaning on her experience from the last few years.
Absolutely love it. I mean, you two are definitely an inspiration. I love seeing you guys out there on the course. Now, Jeff, I've got one more question for you. And this just kind of hit me in some of your responses. You call yourself a dark horse. You're coming out here. It seems like you want to prove a little something. Tell us a little bit about that. Are you running with a chip on your shoulder? Are you here to throw down? You mentioned the speed. I want to know more about that aspect of your day tomorrow.
Well, I think that's actually the total opposite. I'm out here with nothing to prove, nothing to lose, and that's why I think I'm going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I love
I absolutely
that
love it.
perspective.
Hell yes.
Yeah, something I've been curious about from our runners that we haven't actually asked yet is, do you have a favorite workout or long run or training run from your block that's giving you a lot of confidence coming into tomorrow?
Yeah, I think, multiple times just getting some speed and some hills at altitude all wrapped into one 3.5 hour workout just multiple times up there have given a lot of confidence that if I can do that at 7,000 feet, I mean, what are we, basically sea level here? Not
Pretty
worried.
much, yeah.
How about you, Zach?
Yeah, I kind of have a couple gauges that I really like coming into my runnable 100 miler anyway, is like what is my pace at my aerobic threshold? And then like what does the actual pace on course, similar terrain, feel like when I'm doing like a pretty big stack of miles? So the way I usually do that is I'll kind of transition into my long run development phase where I'm really targeting just volume at goal race pace and a lot of it. And then, you'll get to the end of some harder blocks or harder weeks and you have that fatigue in your legs to some degree. And it's just nice knowing like, okay, even though my body doesn't feel great right now, I can still pretty easily manage this effort. And then since I'm kind of pulling back for those a lot of times due to the duration of this sport, am I maintaining my fitness that I put in over the speedwork development phase? So then I'll usually like drop in some kind of test workouts just to kind of gauge where that's at. One of them will just be also just gauging kind of where my pace is sitting at my aerobic threshold through all of that. So I got it down to a spot where it's been in the past when I've run some of my best races. So I'm happy to kind of have confirmation from both of those that I'm ready to go.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Zach, one question we pulled away from you. I want to go back to you. What's your kit going to be tomorrow?
My kit is going to be the Ultra Mont Blancs. I love the BOA system on that shoe because I'll be going wet, dry a lot. So being able to kind of retighten is without having to actually manipulate laces is going to be, I think, an important one. And I just like the way that shoe fits on my foot. It's built on the same last that the Ultra Superior is, which I wore the last 2 times here. So I'm going with the BOA setup for that purpose. I like that last fit on there. Yeah, I'm going to probably wear arm sleeves just to kind of keep the sun off my skin for the most part, and then getting wet as often as I can is going to be key, along with a much more conservative start than I did the last 2 times I ran this race. So,
Well, we're excited to see both you guys out there tomorrow. Going to be cheering both from the live stream out on various aid stations on the course, but I think it's going to be a fun one.
I'm looking forward to seeing that outfit tomorrow.
Yeah.
And one last thing before we go, Jeff, it is your birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You can see from the balloon in the back floating around, the little magical unicorn that you are. We wish you a happy birthday today, and we wish you all the success tomorrow, and excited to see you both throw down.
Thank you.
Thanks
Ice
for
cream
having
for
us.
breakfast because it was my birthday, so off to a great start today.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.